Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. And before we go into our next activity, please, I want to use this opportunity to recognize some of our speakers who are currently here with us. Please join me as I recognize the Executive Chairman, Gantt Works Business Development, Mr. Frank Ubodaga. Please join me as I celebrate him. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. As well, we have right here with us the Managing Director, Peace Microfinance Bank, and member of the Governing Council, Madoka University, Ms. Judith Onyeshi. Please, let's put our hands together as we recognize her. I'll still recognize some of our esteemed speakers joining us today as we progress. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to let you know that our first section for today will be taking us to the future. This is yet another enlightening panel session that will paint a vivid picture of the future of EdTech in Africa as they talk about emerging trends and predictions. Are you ready to go to the future with me? Are you ready? Do you want to be left behind? Amazing. So who is ready for takeoff? Amazing. Please join me as I welcome our panelists. Who are our pilots? They are, please, ushers, please could you bring the seats here for the panel section. We have on our panel section today Dr. Chukwuemeka E. Joshua, PhD. He is an educational technologist and an ICT consultant. Please put your hands together. Joining us in the panel section as well is Mr. Olarewaju Adebayo. He is the head Digital Skills Development at Galaxy Backbone Limited. Please celebrate him. We also have with us Dr. Omar Adam Ibrahim. He is a lecturer Software Engineering and Information Technology Department, and also the coordinator of Startup Campus. Please let's celebrate him. We also have Mrs. Blessing Nelson. She is the programs manager at Decent Jobs Tech Skills Limited. Please let's celebrate her as she comes on stage. Please, we need an extra seat for a moderator. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to drive this conversation, please join me as I welcome our moderator, please. He is Mr. Idris Oladipo. He is the Senior Instructional Technology and Innovation Lead at UBEC, Universal Basic Education Commission. Please, let's put our hands together as he comes on stage. Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Abuja. Are we excited to be here? We don't seem excited. Are we excited to be here? I know we are the most resilient set of people because it's very tough being Nigerian right now. Do you agree? Great. So let's go straight to the business of the day. Okay? But personally, I'm very excited to be here. Not because I'm seated here, but because I can see passionate, genuinely interested set of people who want Nigeria and Africa to move forward. And we are having an unusual and uncommon conversation. So I'm very privileged to have with me here today some panelists that will be discussing some very critical issues. And I want us to listen attentively and also put pen on paper for some questions that would ask them. So I would like to start. Maybe you just do like a very quick, maybe 30 seconds introduction about who you are and your interest in EdTech. You have to just talk about how what you do affects the education technology ecosystem. So I'm going to start with They always say ladies first. Just 30 seconds. Yeah. Okay, is that working? Or I passed mine? It's useless.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Blessing Nelson. I'm Programs Manager for Decent Jobs Tech Skills Limited. So we are players in the edtech industry. We are we're on board to provide solutions, and making learning easy, collaborative, and the general learning experience to be very inclusive. We saw a challenge in the edtech industry where a lot of people don't.
30 seconds.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's it. We're here to provide solutions, digital learning, and all of that for as many that are willing to come on board and learn, stuff, digital skills, and all of that online. Thank you.
All right. You're a digital skills provider, right? Over to you.
Okay, my name is Dr. Chiku Emeka Joshua. I'm an educational technologist, a part-time lecturer at University of Abuja. I also do some remote consultings for Missionary University, USA, as an educational technologist too. Now, personally, I have passion as a concern the synergy between education and technology, and I've been on the crusade of trying to make technological terms easier for people to understand. And that has been
Thank you.
what...
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Olanrewaju Adebayo is my name from Galaxy Backbone. It's a service provider. We provide internet service, hosting, capacity building. These services play very key role in the education sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Over to you.
My name is Umar Adam. I'm an AI researcher and academician with Nile University of Nigeria. At the same time, a startup advisor with Startup Campus. What we do in our own end in terms of edtech is to see that we have more AI creators, not consumers, basically. And then that's what we push in our centers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can see that we have a fairly balanced panel. We have academics here. We have people from the public policy. It's not by accident that we are seated together. And we have people from, half from the private sector as well as a digital skills provider. So let me start with the first question. And I'm going to start with Blessing. All right. How would you describe the current state of education technology in Africa? Just give us a very brief scan of the edtech ecosystem in Africa so that we can have an understanding of, okay, what it looks like. Are there prospects, or is it a mirage? Or are we just deceiving ourselves? Or don't we even have an ecosystem? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah?
Okay, so we have an ecosystem. We have Nigeria has an ecosystem in the edtech industry. We, of course, some of these educational edtech trends, we are already adapting them in Nigeria. We have them. We have the AI. We have the we have online learning platforms, digital learning platforms, and all of that. We have them. It's not a mirage. But then again, are there areas to improve on? Yes, a lot. In fact, I'd say that we have them, but we're kind of behind in the real sense of it. We are just coming up in the whole edtech industry, on the trends in education technology. We have adapted some of them, but some of them were yet to adapt. We know about some of them. We've heard about some of them, but some of them we've heard, but we haven't implemented. We haven't even gone halfway in using them in our educational sector. So we're talking about, in the real sense, we're talking about education generally, from the primary to the secondary and tertiary, and then, post university, you get post-tertiary. We have these things, but there are some of them that are very important. We're still doing more of the traditional and trying to see how we can combine them with the current trends in edtech. But then again, we have a long way to go. Thank you.
So my next question would be, what do you think are the significant milestones that we have achieved so far as an ecosystem? I'm going to go to the academic rights beside.
Well, I'm going to divide this answer into two, right? Starting with the private sector. With the private sector, we've gone a bit far, right? Coupled with the fact that we have organizations that are fully into edtech, and we have hubs that are pushing and promoting edtech solutions. And then there are private universities, secondary school, and primary school that have adopted technology. That is in this very particular part. In the other part, which is in the public sector is also doing its best, right, to catch up with the technology, right? But then a lot needs to be done. So in terms of putting into context this both, we are halfway, and we are having the push more from the private sector. And I like what the government is doing, right? Because everything is moving technology. If you look at what the Minister of Digital Economic is doing, I don't know if you've heard of 3MTT. The goal is to push more people into that very particular aspect. And the goal is to have 3 million talent yearly. So at the end of the day, we have the capacity, we have the number, so we are on the right track.
Thank you very much. In 2021, the percentage VC funding that came to Africa was just 2% share of edtech. Sorry, in 2021, yes, it was just 6%. But in 2022, it was 2%. Compared to fintech, edtech, even the clean tech now, and other emerging industry or ecosystem, edtech has received the least investment. In spite of this, experts, sector players have actually advocated or are seeing big promises in the industry. What would you think are the key drivers of the edtech ecosystem? And I'm going to go to Dr.
Okay.
here.
Thank you so much. Before I begin talking about the key drivers, first, what is an ecosystem? Now, a system consists of units that work interrelatedly for the effectiveness of a goal. And therefore, identifying these systems mean that if you talk about the edtech ecosystem, we have the drivers, the teachers, the instructional designers, the edtech solution providers, that's people from the private sectors. Now, a lot is going on. But what is the goal for edtech or technology coming to education? It is to actually solve the current need, which is the out-of-school children, or we talk about the out-of-school, or people that are not enrolled into school. As of 2022, if I'm not mistaken, the UNESCO data talked about 1 to 5 children, African children, between the age of 6 to 11 out of school children. That is as of 2021. Then, when you go for that, I would say 60% of the youths are not enrolled. That is between the age of 15 to 17. Now, where do you find these people? In our communities, in the rural. Some of them don't understand English. Some of them don't have the network, even the infrastructure that is going on well. Yesterday I heard somebody was talking about the NIDA policy, the fiber optic, wonderful things going on, but it is not getting to this where we have the millions of out of school children. Are we following? Now, but without these children, without these youths, although the ecosystem will not be complete. And presently, UNESCO brought out a report this year that we have about 250-something million of out-of-school children. That's for this year. Meaning that between 2015 till now, we have only 1% increase. So this solution, which has been because the solution has been from the technology point, and we are just 1%. Now, what are we neglecting? A key pivotal driver are the teachers. Are you getting it? Now, many a times we have training, things coming up, but the actors, which are the teachers, are not included in this drive. And because of that, what we'll be seeing in future in Africa is many of our school systems moving into the online space in the hand of not core educationists. Because for you to have an accurate ecosystem, that EduTech system, you must have the pedagogical framework, which are from the real content subject area knowledgeable teachers. 4 months ago, I'm sorry, I want to be that. 4 months ago, we launched a MOOC system in the University of Abuja, led by Professor Awoimaim, with the Commonwealth of Learning, TST MOOC. About 2,000 something enrolled. And now with those things, we received a very big, it was very effective because majority of the enrollees all over the world, we are more of the teachers. And at the end, we recorded a success of about 1,000 something active participants, which we are certified. Now, if the government will work more on bringing, including the teachers, both the one that does not understand English. I saw somebody talking about generative AI, language models, adapting our own language. For me, I've been always of the opinion that we should learn in our own dialect. Are we following?
Yes.
So if those things can come in, then the ecosystem will have an effective drive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know academics are very exhaustive in their explanations. So if I let him go on and on, he's going to write a book. So let me go to Mr. Lanry right now. And I wish I was sitting, or I am right in your shoes right now, because the question I want to ask is a question that I think affects my agency so much. So the question is, in all of this, we just threw a poser, which is the government should include more teachers, the government should do this, the government should do that. Where does the government stand in driving the ecosystem? Perhaps, maybe you may want to narrow it down to what your agency is doing in terms of widening access, strengthening quality, improving equity and inclusion. Where does the government stand?
Thank you so much, moderator. And I want to speak to, he mentioned the underserved region of the country, So I want to start with that. We all know that in the ecosystem we are talking about, we know the importance internet penetration is actually playing, most especially to the rural area. So recently, we started this project called 774 project, where we are deploying fiber network into all the rural areas. All the 774 local government is going to have access to reliable and cheap internet service. Because we know we can't be talking about the future of education by neglecting our people at the rural area. Even all the applications we are mentioning today, AI, blockchain, and the rest, the leverage on internet service for you to get their functionalities, to have access to their functionalities. So we are actually very proactive in ensuring that cheap and the reliable internet gets to our rural area places. And another one that I want to quickly chip in, I'm glad that someone from EduTech is beside me right now, is the smart school that we set up, with the EduTech people. We have 6 geopolitical zones from plus Abuja, making 7 zones, right? And the component of that smart school is actually illustration to where we are looking at in future, where all the less privilege is also included as we are advancing in technology education sector. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I think because it's very important and it will be very, very lopsided if I don't talk about what the government, especially my agency, is doing in terms of addressing some of the perennial challenges we are facing in education. You talked about UNESCO statistics. I'm sorry, I beg to differ. That's not a very valid statistics. And I can tell you for a fact, we conduct what we call the National Personnel Audit every 4 years, and we do annual school census every year. What they do is just to aggregate numbers, right? And I can tell you that right now, between 2018 to 2022, we succeeded in enrolling 5.1 million more students into formal education. Yes. If you put that side by side with the annual population growth of about 2.5%, you can see that we have a lot of challenges. And education budgetary allocation has not even reached 10%. So it's a serious problem that we have. Government is trying its best, and many Nigerians make some mistakes by trying to pin everything down on the federal government. Education is on the what? Concurrent list. The states have, the bulk of the responsibility to take care of basic education. And here we are. The federal government still takes care of their teachers. The Universal Basic Education Commission, like he just said, we have built 37 model. We call them model smart schools because our role is regulatory and supportive as well as intervention in nature. So we built those 37 smart schools to create a standard of excellence for what it is supposed to be future of education in Nigeria. If you go to those schools, Galaxy Backbone provided the network infrastructure. You see data centers. You see, in fact, we have Starlink in some of these schools to be able to provide internet access. We have as much as 30 kVA watt of generator in each of the schools. So, and these schools are free of charge. The school that my daughter attends in Abuja, I pay millions of naira for my daughter to attend a school in Nigeria. Most of our schools are well equipped than some of these schools. So things are happening, and some of these schools are situated in rural areas. Beyond that, we train teachers. Last year, I led a batch of teachers to South Korea for training. So we do all of this, and we have also set up 111 effective schools in each senatorial district in Nigeria. It was one senatorial district in Abuja, but we started to also make it 3 in Abuja, making 111 because we feel Abuja should also have a taste of what other states have. So I can go on and on and on. Government can do more, obviously. But the fact is, don't let us think that government is not doing something. Somebody mentioned that they need to review the curriculum. They've reviewed the curriculum. Yes, they've reviewed the curriculum. We now have digital literacy in the curriculum. Yes, wait. They've reviewed, there's a new curriculum. See, there's a slogan, education for all is the responsibility of all. Do you now know that there's digital literacy in your curriculum? The new curriculum is about to be launched. It was just taken to the National Council on Education a few weeks back before the ministerial reshuffle. So what I'm trying to tell us is that we can hold government to account, but we also need to contribute. There are stakeholders engagement where you can make your inputs and all of that. So this takes me to my next question. And I'm going to go to Doctor here. So where do you see education technology in Africa in the next few years?
Education technology in Africa in the next few years, yeah, it comes with so many challenges at the back end. But the goal is that there are people doing their own best, which is from the side of the startup, because I'm close to the startup. I know several startups that use AI to support education. So I think gamification is the way forward, right, in the next few years, most especially for STEM-related education. The cost of setting up lab, the cost of practical, you can do away with that once you have an AR and VR lab, right? And that should be the focus. I think I've made mention of that. We are consumers of technology. But then for we to have that very particular aspect of creation, we need more content creator in this very particular space, and we need the skill set. So in terms of Africa, the way forward in the next few years is gamification of our education. Why? Because we like so many things. Yeah, he made mention the government are doing a lot. But then the reality is that there is this adage in the Hausa land. And if there is a wedding in your house and you don't see food, that means nothing is happening, right? So if you don't see that very particular impact close to you, we don't really believe that the government are doing something. That is just the fact. We know it's a big number, but then there is more that needs to be done. We are not saying they are not doing, but then the reality does not paint what is happening. Where they lavish the huge amount of money, you said it yourself, it's less than 10% education.
and you have a huge amount allocated to luxury and enjoyment. So let's just put it in the front. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So, what would you make of the investment in edtech in Africa? So, I'm going to pass it on to yeah.
Come again, please.
Okay, I said, what would you make of the investment in edtech in Africa? What do you make of it?
Of course, there is a progressive investment. I just mentioned the project, which I was one of the educational technologists in the team, the development of the TST MOOC, which was a product for training science teachers, the first of its kind in University of Abuja, Institute of Education. Now you begin to see edtech in playing its role even in the university system. Now my concern is this edtech being rotating along the key players, whereby, for example, I was putting something up. Now, once upon a time, I went for a supervision. Now, this is one of the challenges. I went for a supervision and I met a young man, I think teaching physics. So, as he was demonstrating, trying to work with the improvised technology, it was hard for him to explain. And I said, okay, young man, wait. Which language can you speak? He said, Hausa. I said, teach me. He started teaching me, flowing, demonstrating. And at the end, I scored him. I encouraged him. Guess what? I didn't understand the jack of what he said. But you see, because this, when we talk about edtech, we still come back to the ecosystem, key players. Now, who are the content creators? The mathematics teachers, the chemistry teachers. The truth is that many of the solutions that have thrived, most times, are developed by content creators away from the pedagogy. For example, consider Schulman PCK, pedagogical content knowledge. One of my studies was on technological pedagogical content knowledge. Now I'm bringing in technology into teaching. What teachers need to know. I can train an IT staff to teach people, but there is a link. The pedagogical skill is not there. So for the drive, for the effectiveness, I go into the schools in the suburbs. So I look at even implementation, quality assurance issues. Some of those things are not followed up. And who are the people that can follow it up? The teachers that know. Now, where do you get the teachers that know? They're in that school. So what I'm saying is that the work government is doing is good, but there is a gap. And for that for us to bridge this gap, to meet the need, we have children. The children are the ones that are coming up. The AI is going on. If you see, I don't want to talk about AI. I love AI. I encourage my master students to use AI because I have a way of getting those who use AI. But you see, what about the teacher in the primary school? These are the basics. These are the people that will come into our universities. Now, the edtech startups should do more in developing apps that even run without internet. Just like what was done in Sakarwa, the Sulayivu, the Makule and the rest.
Thank you.
Here you can use phones, technology, and I'm trying to challenge young startups. You can develop contents, you work with teachers that are in that subject area, whereby you can have technology that doesn't even need internet to run. Thereby we are bridging that educational gap. There won't be gap between
Victory,
thank you.
because our time is fast spent.
Okay.
And I would just like to thank you very much. And what is very fundamental in terms of investment in edtech in Africa is actually the fact that there is need for more diversification and there's need for more scalable solutions. There's something we are advocating right now, which is zero-rated access to digital content or digital solutions. So zero-rated access does not mean that it is completely free. Someone has to pay for it. So the telcos, this has been done in South Africa, in Kenya, in other part of the world. And it's not only K-12 that you can build for. There are other aspects. She's into digital skills. There's TVET. There are solutions you can build for, to prevent challenges of insecurity in schools and so on and so forth. So I would like to take parting messages, and I'll start with you. So how do you think we can enhance digital connectivity in schools? Just in 30 seconds, you're going to all respond to this final set of questions.
Okay, like I earlier mentioned, what we are doing currently is to ensure, because we know that internet through fiber is the most reliable source of internet service, and we will make sure that every local government in the country, they have access to the internet service, and it's going to be affordable. And I know what will be going through our mind is power. This is because government is in support of what we are rolling out, and we are ensuring that everywhere, like for instance, we are targeting the schools. It is part of what it is included in part of the project to ensure that there is a solar, for power source that can, help the availability of the internet service to all this rural area. We started it, and it's actually working. So
thank you very much.
Okay.
So, Doctor, please, what do you make of the prospect of artificial intelligence in driving or improving or enhancing our education technology ecosystem in Africa? Just in 1 minute.
So I'm an advocate of AI creators. I think there's a huge work we can use in supporting our educational aspects using AI. But bulk of the work is creating our own content. There's a research we're doing, like localizing curriculum. I think we need more of that, more content creators.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to come to you. How can we ensure that handshake between the academia and the tech ecosystem to ensure that we achieve a vibrant edtech ecosystem? 1 minute.
Much of these startups should come to the universities. We should carry most of these crusades to the public schools. This training should be done there. That's how we can encourage that. The teacher that is dealing with, we should conduct what we call needs assessments down so that we can narrow our development to the real needs of the people. This is how we can do that.
Okay, back to the super lady on the panel. As a digital skills provider, what is the most scalable approach to be able to create a growth engine for Africa? Because by 2050, the youngest population of the world will be on this continent. So how do you think we can maximize this potential, this demographic dividends?
Okay, so I think that we need more players in the tech startup, edtech startup sphere. We need more engineers. We need more people that understand what the needs, are in this time, and then look forward to the trends that we will have in the next 10, 5, 15 years. If we need to meet up with our counterparts in other countries and other continents, we need to ensure that we have more people understand our needs, our tech needs, educational needs, digital skills needs, and then create more content around that, and then things that, not just content, but that content that are needed to be able to, scale us up there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a fantastic experience, and I want to leave you with this message. Education for all is the responsibility of all. Thank you very much.